It's Digitime again!
Alright. We should be live now then, I think, hopefully. Oh god. Like... Okay, so... Where the crap do I start with this one?
I'm so tired of this series.
So I just tiled the stream, is this worse than 02? I think
Yes.
it might, yeah. Yes. Do we want to just end off there? Stream just starts up. It's like, oh yeah, the Anispective cast, Digimon Try Movie 5, like the big, intro theme song plays and stuff. It's like, is this worse than Digimon 2? Yes. It's like, okay, yeah, it's bad. Stream it. Outro comes in.
I'll be honest, at some point I started browsing Twitter while listening to it in the background because I just did not care.
So, I do want to point out I'm going to be trying something a little different with this one.
Yeah?
Yeah, because, I was talking with Cookie, and he actually made a really good suggestion, which is that, some people might be watching the podcast who haven't seen, Try or, All of Adventure or whatever. So
Why
I
are
should...
they watching the podcast?
Well, and he said he watches it too, which is, really nice of him. But yeah,
I understand, but it's if you're not watching the source material, then why care, aside from just supporting it?
Well, yeah.
Which is fine, anybody who's doing that, thanks, but...
Yeah, what the suggestion was is oh yeah, man, you should, change out the image with, stills of the show and there's, new characters or whatever, make things a bit more visually interesting. And I'm like, alright, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, fair enough, yeah.
So I've just got a bunch of images loaded up because I had no idea where the heck we were going to go or what we would talk about.
Yeah. So I thought you were gonna say that we should sit here and be way more specific about what's going on or whatever.
No. We take long enough already.
Yeah, okay. Alright, yeah. No, that's a good idea. Thanks, Cookie.
So yeah, it just starts off effing big flashback. So turns out Meikumon killed a bird, and that's bad.
Yeah. Meikumon, the champion level Digimon, getting bullied by the tiny little birds.
Because of course, what else would you be bullied by, really? Who else but birds would stand up to a champion?
True, birds are something else. I am so disconnected from this episode and this movie. I was barely paying attention.
Yeah, this is a bad one. This is I feel like I win, I want to be fair with things. So I would, it's alright, maybe, maybe the hype's people are nostalgia bast or, they weren't into the new direction or whatever, maybe it's just a situation where it's it works, but it's not for everyone. Early on, it was with the Joe stuff, it's okay, I can see where that might be the case. And then we just dove right off a cliff and kept on going.
Hey, what was up with that scene where Tai was we have to destroy Meikumon, and then immediately 180s and says we protect our friends?
Yeah. Yeah. Gee,
I got whiplash from that one. I'm like, what? What?
See, I guess just jump ahead, but like this movie is all about like, hey, Mekumon's a problem. How do we deal with this? And everyone just sits around for like 2 hours having no solutions at all until the very end where Mako's like, hey, it's fine, like, we need to kill Mekumon. And everyone's like, no, but our friends, though, as Mekumon's literally destroying the world.
And then Ty's like, yeah, okay, we'll destroy Mekumon, we have to. And then immediately it's like, Mekumon's our friend and we protect our friends. It's like, Ty, what?
Just that,
that
like, it wasn't quite that, like, much of, like, a thing in the sub, but it was like, Ty's like, no, like, we have to take care of Mekumon, and Matt gets super angry, and he's like, no, but, like, our friends, though.
God.
Just, that...
Mekumon needs to go.
Yeah, that's the premise of this entire film, is that, no, Mekumon's unnatural. This thing's, like, killing people, it's like, it's an effing sociopath, basically. It's only calmed by effing Mako. It's like, it starts evolving, because of course.
Yeah, guess what? Humans don't live as long as Digimon. If Mekumon's not a problem now, she's going to be a problem later.
Yeah, that's pretty fair, actually.
Mekumon needs to go.
Oh,
that scene at the end? Mekumon needs to go.
This movie just leads to, like, a fight between 4 separate factions. Where, like, as a viewer, you have no idea what any of them are trying to accomplish. Cause,
By
like...
the way, sorry, we're not really skipping anything. There's, like, a bit in the beginning where they're like, oh, the digital world hates us. And it's trying to delete us or whatever. And then they tell ghost stories for, like, an hour, and then the climax happens. I wish I was joking.
Like, I feel like we probably should still, like, walk through the stuff that does happen just in case.
Yeah, Mako won't stop feeling sorry for herself, and blames all the problems associated with her Digimon on herself, and every time the kids have to be like, no, you're fine.
Yeah, like, there's a big recurring thing of, like, oh, hey, maybe I wasn't meant to be chosen. Maybe I'm not, like, cut out for this. And everyone's like, nah, it don't matter, you're chosen for a reason. Even though, like, all of them were, like, random chance, basically.
My annoyance with Mako hit, like, an all-time high when she was eventually, like Jinai was like, oh yeah, Mekumon shouldn't have been born. And then she's like, but what if he meant that I shouldn't have been born? Shut up, Mako. Oh my god.
What if he did? He's the bad guy.
Yeah, but I think it's at this point that even Ty tells her to shut up.
Yeah,
because snaps at her, tells her to shut up, and I'm like, thank you, Ty. Holy crap.
Like, Ty gets a bit, like, fed up with her crap, and she's like, oh, but no, but what if Dark Jinai had a point?
Oh, poor me. Shut up.
I do want to mention that this does give us a moment where she hugs Agumon, and it's kind of adorable. But at the same time, Agumon's just there like, no, I'm hungry. And she's like, oh, thank you, Agumon.
I mean, yeah, a kid hugging a Digimon, yeah, it's always gonna be nice.
Side note, I should probably turn you up a bit. You're kind of low. Alright, say something real quick.
Hey, test.
Alright, that's a bit loud, actually. You know what, this seems fine.
You might want to be careful, because I might get kind of loud talking about this one.
Yeah, alright, yeah, that's good. Yeah, sorry. We just started off and we just went, and I had no time to think about it.
It's fine. Was Agumon always, like, remind me, in, like, Adventure and Adventure 2, was Agumon always so fixated on food?
Not especially.
Okay, I
Like,
thought that they were playing it up way too much in Try, but I wasn't sure.
yeah, because, like, of course in the old series, it's like all the Digimon like food, and, they're all like, oh yeah, like, food's great and
Yeah,
stuff, because it's a plot point.
yeah, the Digimon like to eat. They're monsters, of course they do. But
Yeah.
like, Agumon's personality in Try is I'm hungry.
Yeah, like, literally from the start, like, every single interaction has been like, oh, but where's the food, though?
So it's that bad in the sub too.
Yes. Like, Agron just goes down and he's like, oh yeah, I'll talk to Mako, and she's like, just freak out. She's like, no, but what if I don't deserve to exist and stuff? And Agron's like, hey, would you like something to eat? And everyone's like, oh, that idiot.
Yeah, in the dub, he just goes, "Let's go get food."
Yeah. I want to be fair. There's a moment where Mako's like, oh, like, I don't deserve to exist. And Agron's like, I don't think that's true. And she just starts crying and hugs him. And it's like, okay, Agumon said the good thing for once.
Yeah, I don't know. They Persona 4, no, not Persona 4. That everything after related to Persona 4 that came after. You wouldn't be familiar with this because you haven't even played 4, but there's a character who's like Chie. She likes to eat steak and like she likes fighting and stuff. And like
Yeah.
okay, that's just part of her personality. But in everything afterwards, every bit of dialogue is meat, 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 meat. I want to eat meat. That's her gimmick. That's it. That's all she is in everything after 4.
I'm just trying to imagine if, like, like this specific, like, like Agumon riding went back to O2, and like Blackmore Girl just shows up like, hey, like, do I have a soul? What's my purpose? And Agumon's like, what's a purpose? Can you eat it? He's like, no, but like, where does the soul reside? Am I even a Digimon? Agron's like, I don't
they
think
say
I need a soul.
they say that chicken soup is good for the soul. That came out more like Monokuma than Agumon.
Yeah, honestly, fair enough. Agumon's just Monokuma now.
Oh god. I am not a voice actor.
Monokuma just shows up in Danganronpa. He's like, hey, here's the rules. If you kill someone, no eating. Like, what?
Agumon's got a pretty unique voice, huh? He's kind of high pitched but low pitched at the same time. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's weird. Oh man.
Of course, I could just go for sub. I could just go for sub Agumon, where he kind of has like a higher pitched, like growly monster voice.
Yeah, that's whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot to talk about in this episode.
Yeah.
Himikawa goes to the Dark Ocean?
Yeah, before we get to that.
I'm not. If the Dark Ocean comes back, it's gonna blow my mind, because it's like, what?
So, like, effing Mako just starts telling ghost stories. I do want to point out that, like, Mako is such an effing Poochie in this show. Like, she is Poochie the rapping dog, and everything she does is great, and of course she tells the scariest story, because of course she does, even though it's shit. It's such a bad story.
And her Digimon partner is so strong. None of our Digimon can touch Mekumon. She's way too powerful.
Baby, you should try evolving.
Yeah, maybe don't fight her in ultimate form. And then Jessmon comes out of nowhere and starts kicking Mekumon around like she's nothing.
Yeah. You know what? I'll at least take that because Jessmon's rad. Jessmon is awesome at this.
He's a Digimon, like, chosen by a higher power, so sure.
Yeah, she tells the worst ghost story. It's like, oh yeah, I was walking alone at night, and like, I heard someone behind me on a bicycle, and everyone's like, oh.
Yeah, so you know when I said I kind of tuned out and started doing other stuff in the background,
Yeah,
this is it. The ghost story crap. I was like, I don't care. I don't care about any of this.
oh man. Before I go,
Like,
there's
sorry, I was just gonna say. I
yeah,
guess they're trying to like give us Mako scenes to get the viewers attached to her. I already don't
yeah.
like her. I don't think I've ever liked Mako.
Yeah, I think that's like exactly what it is, because there's like, oh man, if we make Mako even like, like cooler and better and give her all these traits, then people like her more, right? And it's like, no, that's not how characters work.
She's the defenseless moe type. That means the viewers have to like her, or
It's
get really fed up with her.
it's like so much like focus is placed on that like does a 180 and it becomes like unlikable. It's like I was fine with Mako early on. It was just like, well, she is the special Digimon, but she also like gets shy and has like, like I guess trust issues or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, like
Okay.
when she wasn't as much of the spotlight, it was like, okay, you know what, I'm at least cool with this.
Yeah. All right. Early on, I didn't hate Mako, but that's because she hadn't done anything yet,
Yeah,
and then she started doing things.
because it's like, I want to like imagine for a moment, like, if this plot line was like Joe, for example, and Joe was like, oh, I'm worthless, and I don't want to kill Gomamon and stuff, then, like, I like Joe enough already that, like, that character could take the hit and come out stronger.
Yeah.
I, like, Mako was fine, but I did particularly give a crap about her before, and I still don't.
I'm just tired of her being in this show.
Like, Cav on the same topic, I want to, like, go back a bit to, like, mention something, because there's, like, a weird conversation between, like, Hackmon and, like, the guys in the suits, whatever their names are.
Yeah. Yeah. The big
Yeah.
stupidly long organization.
Like, Hackmon just appears on their TV and it, like, cuts back and forth to this exact same still multiple times as the conversation continues. Yeah, Hackmon's just like, oh yeah, Libra, which is like, what he calls effing Meikumon, has a shard of Apoclymon's data within it, and that's why it's so strong. Oh my god,
So,
Meikumon is Apoklymon.
so in other words, Mekumon gotta go.
I don't know why Apoklymon's data specifically corrupts things with a virus when his whole deal was like ruining space and time. But sure, I guess.
Yeah. Hackmon doesn't tell the kids about this, despite the fact that they probably have an even bigger stake in it than Nishijima and the old guy.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Like, the kid should be the first one he goes to because, of course, like, they're in the digital world. You
It's like,
can just go there.
oh, Mekumon's got a shard of Apoklymon in it, huh? Okay, Mekumon gotta go. It's a Digimon named after the apocalypse. Come on.
Oh, man. Like, am I, like, wrong in, like, thinking the Pokemon feels, like, too big for this or whatever?
Just to make 100% sure, Apoklymon's the entity they fight at the end of Adventure 1, right?
Yeah, he's the giant, like,
Okay.
the giant, like, effing, like, D20 with an edgelord coming at it. That fights
Right,
with, like,
right.
DNA strands with giant claws at the end. And he looks rad.
Why would Mekumon be able to evolve? Apocalymon's whole deal is that he's formed out of like negative evolution data or some crap, right?
Yeah. It's like, what I'm thinking is like, okay, if it was a Pokemon, it was like, oh, like Piedmon or Devi. You know what, like, Devimon would make complete sense, I feel like. This would be like a good excuse to be like, oh, Devimon is technically the bad guy again.
I mean, okay, so you say that Pokemon seems too big for this, but like after what we see at the end of this movie, I don't know.
And,
That thing Meikumon turns into is nightmarish.
yeah. Like, she basically becomes an Ava. Like an angel from Ava, basically. Like,
Yeah.
that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah, Ty's dead. Not really.
Oh, God.
Gee, Ty's dead. There'll never be a movie that comes out afterwards so that people watching this movie later will know that Ty's not dead.
So I got a bunch of stills. You'd be okay with like just going right back, like, through some main events real quick.
yeah, sorry. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah, it's fine, yeah.
there are so few moments where anything of significance happens that I don't know. I want to talk about the stupid,
Oh,
crazy
yeah,
things
yeah,
that
I
happen.
understand. Alright, we'll like get through this quick then, because like, so we starts like, well, our kids are in the digital world, like, starts raining, there's like, oh, the digital world hates us and it wants us gone. And it's like, okay, done. And they like,
Specifically, it's Kari bringing this up.
yeah, like Kari just kind of knows because like homeostasis or Yggdrasil or whatever, which are apparently two different things, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's nothing weird.
Homeostasis is the baseline, like for the creation of the digital world and of other dimensions and such. And then no, Yggdrasil. I almost called him King Drazel. Yggdrasil is like the will of the digital world or whatever.
King Nazasil.
So he's kind of like lower than homeostasis, or it. I guess not he.
Yeah, that's super weird. I don't quite get it.
It's it's
Eh.
complicated.
But yeah, so they get rained on, they're like, oh, the digital world doesn't want us here, and like some clips disappear and crap, whatever, doesn't matter. Like, point is, like, digital world is trying to get rid of them because it's like, oh, humans are the plague or whatever.
Or so we think.
Yeah, and
So they
like a
think.
million Datamon just start pouring out of a portal and attacking the real world.
Yeah, it's not just Datamon. There's a bunch of Digimon around the world, supposedly.
I am
Uh,
most concerned about the effing Datamon, because holy crap, what even?
why specifically Datamon?
Because Datamon's an ultimate.
True,
Why do
true.
ultimates exist right now? Like, this is the first 10 minutes. It's like at this exact moment where I'm like, okay, yeah, this movie is garbage, they don't even care. They just, like, they picked a design that looked crazy and they just threw it out there.
Okay, so I'm willing to believe that not every single Digimon in the digital world started off as a baby. Like
I.
upon upon
What?
creation, upon creation, that like whatever created the digital world might have made ultimates and such.
So I want to ask a very, like, legitimate question.
Okay.
If, like, Ultimates and Megas are just going to be around to threaten everything anyways, then what the heck was the point of the reboot?
The point of the reboot was to get rid of the infection.
But it's, like, they're still infected, because Datamon's got, like, glowing eyes and he's being controlled by the virus.
Well, it clearly
Yeah.
didn't work. That's the whole point.
Like,
Is
what
that
I mean is, like, in like, sorry, not in universe, sorry, I'm getting this backwards. Like, from a narrative perspective, why'd we have that big reboot scene if it was just going to lead to nothing?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, I, I,
It just it just kind of padded out a movie, huh?
Yeah, like all it did was just set the kids back, and they just like got back to the where they were like instantly, basically as soon as danger showed up.
Even to the point where they were able to fuse into Omnimon again.
Yeah, cause like you could count that entire plot line about the reboot and just like I don't know, you'd have to like rewrite a little bit because they'd have to have like some reason to go in the digital world. You could just be like, oh yeah, make Kumons in the digital world and we have to stop them and have them go there and meet like Dark Giant anyways, and like the plot would be exactly the same. The
Yeah, so
reboot did nothing. It just gave Sora like, effing like bullcrap justifications for a bad arc.
yeah, the solution to it was so simple. I was thinking the exact same thing. Make Kumon fled to the digital world. We have to stop her.
Yeah,
Like it's that easy.
it's so easy. And like they have that big thing of like, oh, we have to like, use the dark digivice and this D terminal and stuff to hit you to the digital world. And like just they go there, it's like, oh, digital world's trying to get rid of us. And they just sort of find a portal and like
Oh,
no, right, yeah, Jai throws them a portal or something.
okay. No, okay, hold on. There is a purpose to the reboot, and it's the crux of Himikawa's entire arc.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, it's the whole reason. Like that, it was her goal the entire time.
Like, yeah, I guess. Yeah, that does kind of make sense.
Yeah.
But holy crap, like, they could have so much more of a fallout from that, and that would make it feel so much more interesting.
Well, if everything's a baby in the digital world, then there's no threat.
Well, no, because there's the threat of, like, Mekumon, right? Like,
Yeah, true.
yeah, you don't need Datamon to be, like, pouring out portals en masse. Like, even if it was just champions, at least that'd be, like, something. And, like, jeez, yeah, it's another thing, because, like, Digimon are just pouring out across the world. And it's like, hey, did we spend an entire arc in O2 establishing Digidestined International?
Yeah. Wait, what happened to their Digimon when everything got rebooted?
I don't know. Did
'Cause
they
they
just
wouldn't
lose
been-
everything?
Don't know.
Like, I'd assume their Digimon would be reset too, but like no one ever like acknowledges it or talks about it.
Well, what happens to a Digimon in the real world when the digital world gets reset?
I assume they just get sent back, right?
Maybe.
Cause like, well, no, like Agron and the R's were in like a portal.
Yeah, they got pushed in.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that was weird. Actually, like, that would be an interesting direction of, like, oh yeah, Tai and the R's are, like, still at Ultima and they can't quite do it. And effing, like, Chica shows up with her freaking, like, Monochromon. And it just goes Ultima or something, and it's like, yeah, we can help out. And you'd bring back all these nothing characters and give them, like, personality, and it'd be, like, a nice callback people appreciate. It'd be this cool, like Michael could show up with his own Mel Siegemon. Like, you could make a big thing out of it, and it'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm just going to assume that Digidestin International doesn't exist anymore. Like, if it does, we'll never see it again.
I think, like, just was Sharts did draws like Daramon or something. Just something like that. Yeah, it's Kiwon. Yeah, just turn to Daramon, do a big thing.
Yeah, the French girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's places you can go with that. That'd be awesome. Yeah, so effing friend, all the heroes just go back to the real world because of course. And it's like, there's just a moment. Just an effing moment. Oh, what's the Alright, yeah, here it is. there's a moment where it's like the kids show up in the real world and have their Digimon out and they're just like, oh yeah, we're back in like, whatever district, right? And like effing cops descend on them. Effing the police just show up. They're like, oh hey, these kids have Digimon. And it's like, oh, is this why we had those weird data guns before? Because now the police can, like, use their guns to threaten, like, Greymon.
No, because they're just regular cops with regular guns. Also, what is this image?
I had to.
I like the bite with his mind. I don't know, there's something about giving him sunglasses that makes it extra funny.
You gotta have the dirty cop, man. It's 2020.
Boy.
If nothing else, As need to show this off because As had the idea and holy crap. I was losing. I just saw the stock image of like just random like woman with like an Aquamon head for like some like product or like we're just selling the thing, I guess.
It's probably like a crappy Agumon costume.
Yeah, and she just looks so confused and just irritated. We have ascended beyond a normal podcast. This right here is quality, folks. This is what your subs pay for. Okay. Alright, sorry, I just had to get that out there.
It's fine. The cops are like, hey, those are Digimon, come back, and the kids just run. They just book it.
Yeah, there's like, oh, I'm sure if we explain that they're good Digimon, the police would listen to us, and Ty's like, nope.
Nope, run!
In the sub, he's specifically like, well, I don't care, we're running anyways. Ass moved without thinking.
Amazing.
That weirdly feels like the most Ty thing of this entire series so far.
Yeah.
Just acting impulsively without like a second thought, just to like, oh hey, danger's there, okay, let's move.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh wait, we're in the real world, we could just hide the Digimon in the computer again.
Yeah. So they get, like, picked up, and it's like, hey, like, you have Digimon, and it's like, yes, and it's like, okay, that's settled, and they get picked up by the organization. Mako tells her dumb ghost story, we have the scene with Agumon. Okay, now we're at the point where dumb stuff happens.
Oh, now we're there, huh?
Like, would that take, like, 10 minutes or so? Like, it's whatever, we just rush through it.
Yeah, please. Or don't. Okay.
Did you just say kill me?
No, I said cat, please.
Okay. I was just like, oh god. We're going there, huh?
So, the kids are fighting Mikumon because Mikumon showed up. And Mikumon's blowing up, like, power plants and stuff.
Yeah, Mikumon's been, like, a naughty little salamander.
Interesting way to put it. And then while they're fighting, Jessmon shows up. And then there's just a big knockout, drag-out brawl between the kids, Jessmon, and Mikumon. And nobody knows who's on whose side anymore. Not even the kids.
Yeah, like, Mikumon just kind of digivolves out of nowhere.
Yeah, Mikumon goes, is this be Mega at this point?
Yeah, this would be Mega.
Yeah, this is Mikumon's Mega. They're trying to fight her as Ultimates.
Yeah.
Because of course they are.
I will point out just how stupid this is for a moment. Cause, like, you remember in, like, the effing, like, was it? The, like, Return of Diaboromon movie, right? Where they're like, oh yeah, these, like, these entering Digimon are just pouring through the internet. Hey, guys, don't attack them or they'll evolve. So now it's like this Seimei Kumon, they're just like, oh yeah, we shall like, go Ultimates, but not Mega, and like all attack her at once to make her nice and scared so she'll be sure to evolve. That won't like upscale the problem in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, apparently Mekumon works on Hulk logic.
Like,
Right.
I guess
At
that's
least
the way Digimon have always been, right?
Well, not specifically, because they're in the dub at least, they're like the more Mekumon gets upset, the more powerful she becomes.
Yeah, in the sub
Like,
they say she's being fueled by her fear or something specifically.
okay, so the dub just made it seem like
Yeah, the dub made it
Mako's
seem like more anger than anything else.
okay.
But yeah, it's because they're trying to grab Meikumon with like no plan whatsoever, by the way. They just want to grab her and I guess just hold on to her until they all get infected. It's a really stupid plan.
I think they're trying to hold on to her so that Mako can try to calm her down, but that's clearly not working.
Yeah, like all they do is they just scare the crap out of her and just activate her survival instinct so she digivolves.
Yeah, apparently, what was I got very distracted. Apparently there's some semblance of Mekumon's good side in there somewhere because she protects Mako when Jess Bond is about to fall on her.
Yeah. So, like, Meikumon still cares about her partner. Turns out Mako's the only thing that can calm her down, seemingly. But it's like, yeah, it's just, not exactly working right now,
Yeah, so remember when remember how I said that Meikumon is, if not a problem now, going to be a problem later?
Yeah.
Yeah, if Meikumon's not around, it's just an inevitability.
Yeah, Mako, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Mako's not around, then it's just an inevitability that Meikumon's going to kill everything.
Yeah, and like, Digimon aren't meant to stay in the human world, and humans aren't meant to stay in the Digimon world. It's like a huge thing. Like, it's a metaphor for, like, growing up, kind of, but it's like, in this case, the right thing to do would be to, like, be a child forever, and, I don't know. Some really weird thematic messaging they're kind of, like, throwing around right now when they, like, add elements like that in there. But yeah, it's like, effing... Aaron just goes to Mega to stop Meikumon because, of course, like, now the situation dictates it.
Except for Gatomon. Gatomon just goes to Angelomon.
Yeah, because Gatomon doesn't have her Mega yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Oh boy, oh man, that's... Ouch!
When we see the Mega, it's not the Mega I expected to see.
It's not the Mega I expected to see either. Not the way I expected it to see either. And not turning into what I expected either.
So, I mean, I'm gonna be straight up. I thought that Gatomon's Mega form was what was it, Magnadramon?
Yeah, because that's what was in like Hurricane Touchdown, like the O2 movie.
Yeah, like. And like for me, it goes as far. Well, it's Magnadramon because of the movie. Either way, but it goes to Magnadramon for me because of Digimon Rumble Arena, where that's what Gatomon turns in.
Like Magnadramon's been like basically pseudo canon for a while. I want to say, unless you count the movies as canon, which you know at least one of them is like for sure.
Yeah, so I was not expecting Ophanimon.
Yeah. So yeah, like, this is the point where it's like, I just want to touch on this real quick, because Hurricane Touchdown is a movie that exists.
Yes.
And like, I don't know how you remember, it's like, the entire plot of that film was like, oh yeah, Willis, like, has to, like, kill his own Digimon. He has to, like, come to terms with that,
Yeah. Hurricane Touchdown is the one where I was running late and I just skimmed through it, so I didn't see
Yeah.
much of it.
Yeah, you should also like check out one day. It's like actually pretty good.
Mm.
But yeah, like Willis is like, oh, you have to kill Mountain Digimon. You know, he's like infected with a virus. There's like nothing I can do. And he has the moment where he's like, okay, well, like it's too far gone. We have to kill it. And by that point, you know, it's like, oh, can you even defeat this thing, right? Because it just goes so far out of control that it's like, you know, the only thing we can do is just keep fighting, and, you know, like, we might all be just completely, like, hopelessly outmatched here, but if we can keep going, maybe we can, like, you know, deal with this problem that we've just put off until it got worse.
Dark Cherubimon gotta go.
Yeah. And, like, I feel like the big reason why Willis worked for me in that movie is because the entire time, like, he's clearly in denial, right? Like, it's not like, you know, oh yeah, well, I know this is bad, but, like, you know, I still want to, like, try and calm it. No, it's like, he's just sitting around just like, oh yeah, maybe if I take him back to the place where the virus happened, it'll, like, somehow undo things. And he just holds on to that hope. Like, there's a justification for it, right? And that's,
Yeah.
like, also kind of, like, you know, the flaw he has to, like, overcome is, like, you know, that, like, it's a wrong, like, justification. Like, it doesn't make sense and it doesn't work out. This is, like, it's the same story, essentially, with, like, you know, the same arc, I should say. It's basically the same arc, but it's like, instead, Mako's kind of right, and that inherently makes it so much worse feeling. Because it's like, she can calm him down. She can rein, like, this partner in, but also has to go. And, you know, when that happens, she's just like, oh yeah, like, kill Meikumon, and everyone in the room is like, no, but friends though.
It's like, no, but we need to. Mikumon is a problem.
Like,
But we'll save Mikumon somehow.
we. How many times have these exact same characters went through this? Because, like, we had, like, you know, adventure where it's like, oh yeah, Digimon are attacking the real world. They gotta go. Hey, sometimes you just gotta take out an evil Digimon. And we had, like, O2, where it was like, oh yeah, like, Mel Greymon's turned against us, but, like, hey, you know, we can't be afraid to hurt our friends. We have to be able to, like, you know, do what has to be done and, like, you know, fend them off. And we had, like, O2 again, where it's like, oh yeah, it's fine to kill evil Digimon. Sometimes, you know, like, friggin' devils gotta go, or they're going to hurt people.
To be fair, one of Ty's defining character moments in Adventure is that his Digimon goes evil, but then he's able to save it.
Yeah, yeah, to be fair. To be super fair. But it's like, this is kind of a different situation, it feels like. Where it's, yeah, Meikumon just existing is like making parts of the world disappear. Like, her existence is literally eroding, like, reality around her. Like, it's literally destroying the world.
Yeah,
It's,
they're doing the Magidramon thing, but it's not earned.
yeah, wait, like, oh, what Magidramon thing? Sorry, is that like Tamers?
Yeah, I think I've mentioned it before, where they're like, "Oh, Magidramon's
Oh,
so powerful that its mere existence is destroying the digital world."
right, yeah, that bit of lore, yeah, alright, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they're just doing that again. But in this case, in the case of Tamers, it makes sense because Guillaumon is actually a little kid's original OC Do Not Steal Digimon.
Yeah,
So
like,
his negative emotions cause War Growlmon to digivolve into something that's like, oh, this is terrifying and a way too powerful.
yeah,
It's because Takato made it up.
oh man. Like, that's definitely something to talk about when we get to Tamers, because holy crap, I think we're all ready for Tamers after this.
Yeah, and I hate to keep bringing up late parts of Tamers, but
Yeah.
it's just like relevant.
Yeah, like, extremely at this point.
Mekumon just gets really mad, goes mega, and then like buildings start like fading away.
But yeah, like, effing, like, Jesmon shows up, and they have, like, a 3-person, like, fight. Where Jesmon is trying to, like, kill Mekumon. And for whatever reason, they're trying to stop him.
Yeah. Also, there's just a couple of moments that happen before this, I think, or maybe it's while they're chasing after them. But homeostasis possesses Kari again.
Yeah, while Braveheart is literally playing.
Yeah. Kari's actually fighting back against it this time. Then we see like a little inner monologue where she's yelling at herself.
Yeah, it's a cool idea to be like, oh yeah, you're not gonna take over me anymore. I'm gonna, like, I'm going to fight the will of the, like, world and, like, do the thing that's, like, acting against stability because, like, friends or whatever. But it's like, this situation is, like, not set up to support that. Like, Kari is the bad guy here.
Okay, so the scene would have worked in my opinion if like Kari had been like, no, friendship, and like we're gonna stop and save everything and blah blah blah, and you're not gonna control me anymore. I feel like it would have worked if Kari had like slapped her other self and it went away.
We needed to just replicate the scene with TK and the Digimon Emperor, but with, like, Kari and her other self instead.
Yeah.
Like, Kari tries to whip Kari, and Kari just stares them down, and Kari just punches Kari out, and Kari's like, okay, let me, like, show you what it's like to be an adult.
Yeah, so like, the way it actually goes is homeostasis gets the last word and then just leaves. It's like, wow, you really showed it.
It's like, what are you doing? This is illogical. You're fighting against the stability of the world. And it's like, yeah, damn straight they are.
Like, and it's kind of a bummer because this is like this could have been the culmination of all the time she gets possessed by like an otherworldly entity or whatever, and she's finally like, I've had enough, and like it actually wins fighting back against it. But instead, it's just like, haha, it's like, haha, you guys are stupid, and then it leaves.
You know what would have, like, made this work way better is if, like, before this scene happens, like, Mako does reach out to Mekumon, and, like, you see the virus actually, like, calm down, dispel or something, and, you can have Izius type on his computer, it's like, oh yeah, all traces of, like, the infection are gone, and then, like, homeostasis is like, oh, but could come back, so kill Mekumon. Cause that would have been like, well, no, we solved the problem, there's no need for this. It's like an unnecessary action, right?
But then Jesmon doesn't stand a chance. If it's all, like, I know Jesmon's really strong, but it's like all of the kids' megas, plus Mekumon, plus Alphamon, if Alphamon wants to show up.
You know, that's actually kind of true. Like, well, actually, you could have, like, Mekumon still, like, freaking out by, like, all this fighting and, still have her not possessed by the virus, right? Yeah. Like, maybe Jesmon, like, shows up and, like, restarts the fighting. Because, like, Jesmon's just like, oh yeah, you have to, like, kill it now, and everyone's trying to stop him. And, like, Mekumon attacks, like, Jesmon, someone tries to stop her, and, like, Mekumon attacks more Greymon. Stuff keeps going, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's what they're kind of trying to get at. Like, I feel like what, like, in the heads of the creators, what the scene is it's supposed to be like, oh, the Digidestined are fighting to end the fighting or whatever. But, like, that's not how it reads because the problem is still a thing. Like, the virus is right there and it's destroying the world.
Yeah. So, I figured out who's on whose side now. Should be pretty obvious actually, but I'm thinking that we know that Hackmon / Jessmon works for homeostasis specifically.
Yeah.
But Alphamon opposes Jessmon, so Alphamon probably works for Yggdrasil.
So here's what confuses me about this, because, like, Yggdrasil, like, presumably also wants to destroy Meikumon because Alphamon was, like, shooting at in the first movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why is he fighting Jessmon, though?
Yggdrasil's will might be more benevolent than homeostasis is.
So he's gonna give them a merciful death?
Maybe Alphamon's goal wasn't actually to destroy Meikumon, but maybe Yggdrasil could fix it somehow. But like they need to actually catch it first.
Like, it seemed like he was shooting energy blasts straight at him.
Just to knock it out. I don't know.
Yeah, like, I'm not, like, knocking you or anything. I'm saying this plot probably doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find reason.
Yeah.
Maybe Yggdrasil can fix Meikumon's problems, but like the problem is that Yggdrasil has to have something actually catch it. and the kids are misunderstanding the situation because Alphamon won't say anything.
Yeah, like, it's not impossible that, like, Alphamon was holding back and just wanted to knock Meikumon out. Like, maybe those blasts weren't as powerful as that scene, like, heavily implied they were.
Yeah, well, I think I mentioned it at the time that it really did seem like Alphamon was holding back. For most of the fight, Alphamon was standing there and shooting things. Like,
yeah.
And even at point blank range, it just kind of knocked Gatomon away.
I will actually, like, go back to that for a second, because, like, at the time, it's like, that made complete sense, but, like, now with hindsight, we know that, like, these films don't care about evolution ranks.
Yeah.
Like, effing Salmon stops Machinedramon with puppy howling, and, it keeps going, but she makes it recoil. Like, Sora gets hit, like, by Machinedramon's giant, like, industrial strength robot arm, and, like, he slams her into a cliffside and she's fine. Like, apparently, like, I don't remember seeing this, but, like, someone mentioned on Discord, apparently, like, Ty and Matt outswim Metal Seadramon at one point.
Oh, I didn't notice. That's hilarious.
I don't know if that's 100% true. I'm going to assume it is because it sounds right. I vaguely remember, like, it might have happened.
It just sounds like something the writers would do.
Yeah, it sounds too on brand to ignore. Yeah, like, effing... Oh my god. So everyone's just fighting, and I don't know who's trying to accomplish what or what anyone's goals are. Like, all the, like, partner Digimon go Mega, including, like, they all go Mega at the same time, basically. Everyone except for, like, Andromon, of course.
Yeah.
And I want to point out this is, like, the first time we're actually getting an evolution sequence for Melgarurumon, and it's, like, sectioned off in, like, one of the windows.
Oh my god, you're right.
It's so bad. At least, like, unless there was one last time I forgot about or whatever, but it's like, I'm pretty sure that's the first one. Because this is the first time we see War Greymon's evolution.
Yeah, because, I don't know. Yeah, they're doing the thing where it's just, like, every evolution is happening on screen at the same time, and they're all just cut up. into different little sections of the screen.
Malgarumon got effing shafted, man. But yeah,
I'll be honest. I'd care more if I liked Metal Garurumon.
yeah. Malgarumon's cool.
He's okay.
Yeah. I also want to point out, just while it's on my mind, the final stretch of this movie has the absolute worst effing pacing in like the cut up version, which is like the version the subs listed as.
Oh yeah, you said the episode by episode version was bad because of how it's cut up.
Yeah, because it's like cut up a way where it's like, oh yeah, Meikumon goes mega and the fighting starts. End of episode.
Ah, so they're doing the Pokemon thing.
Yeah, next episode starts up, it's like, shows a bit more of the fight, and like, about like a minute into or something, like, it cuts to the theme song. And if you watch the dub, like, cut up, like, the dub show version, that's the worst theme song so far for Digimon.
Is it worse than the Digirap?
I want to say yes, it is way worse than the Digirap. But yeah, it's like, it's so bad. But yeah, like, PlayStation, it gets back to the fighting, and it just continues for the rest of the episode. It's like, you're cutting stuff up, I understand, stuff isn't gonna fit evenly. That's still terrible. Like, if you're watching this week to week, holy shit, that would be the most frustrating crap ever. Just like, you're, like, 3 episodes into the new arc, and they decide to Dragon Ball Z it. Just screw off. But yeah, fine continues. Like,
so yeah, Meikumon runs away.
They form Omnimon.
Yeah, Meikumon runs through a portal. It's like, oh, it's closing. They form Omnimon and slash the portal open.
Yeah. Does he slash the portal open, or does he, like, make a new portal? Because I wasn't too sure about that.
I think he slashes it back open because it hadn't totally closed yet. Also, just a quick note, I think Nishijima had a partner.
Yeah, they do show up for, like, a second. He has, like, Kumamon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it shows up in, like, Series 4 or whatever, but it is, like, one of the main partners in Digimon World 3, and I love him. Kumamon's great.
Yeah, it's just like it's just kind of cutaway thing real quick where Nishijima is just remembered when they were kids, and it's like, oh look, he's got a Kumamon.
Yeah, he's partnered with an effing, like, just sick-ass karate bear with a baseball cap that reads like the Bears.
Kumamon's cool.
I love Kumamon.
Even if I can't stand Digimon World 3.
I love Kumamon.
Yeah. So yeah, they chase Meikumon into the Digital World, and they keep fighting. And then Alphamon tags in.
Yeah, he just appears.
Yeah.
Just appears from a portal.
And Alphamon is specifically fighting Jessmon.
Yeah, no one else, just Jessmon, is there, like, fighting Meikumon with, like, Omnimon.
And then Joe very pointedly exclaims, "I don't know who to cheer for anymore." And I'm like, yeah, same.
That's not something to be proud of.
Oh. I have no idea who, like, the kids, obviously. You cheer for the kids, but it's like...
Do you?
Kinda. The protagonists.
I mean, in this situation, are they even the good guys?
I cheer for the kids who want to take out Meikumon.
Fair enough. You cheer for Tai and then you don't.
Yeah. I'm cheering for Jessmon and the kids who want to kill Meikumon. Or if Alphamon's intentions are good, Alphamon. I don't know.
So, I'll point out, like, this has created a weird situation where it's like the people I'm rooting for is everyone except for the main characters we've spent all this time with, including Meikumon.
Well, I'm definitely not on Mekumon's side. Mekumon gotta go.
Meikumon gotta go. Like, all the main characters are being idiots. Like, Omnimon's making things worse. And meanwhile, Jesmon, he's got the sword arms, he has the sick, crazy, like, fire servant things he's summoning, I'm on Jesmon's side, like, I'm on Alphamon's side. I don't care if they're fighting each other, I'm on both their sides.
Please, one of you, fix the problem.
Please, put us out of our misery.
Yeah, just end the series.
Just end it all.
But no, Tai falls into, like, a pit. Is just that out of context?
Yeah, just out of context, it's like, oh yeah, a big fight's happening. Oh yeah, also Tai just falls into a pit.
Yeah, okay, so to explain, like, the ground is, like, being destroyed and cracked and, like, the fissures and whatnot, and Tai falls into one. Along with Michijima, I think.
Before Tai just falls into a pit and just dies. Like, Tai's like, okay, it's time for us to, like, kill Meikumon. And Matt's like, no, but you can't. And they start, like, arguing. It looks like Matt's gonna throw fists. Hey, do you happen to remember movie 1? You remember the explanation they gave for why, like, Omnimon just, like, stopped working in the middle of the fight, right?
I don't.
Because there's a moment where there's like, oh yeah, like, Matt calls Tai out because he's like, oh hey, Omnimon, like, went out of sync and, like, he, like, just split up because, we were fighting. And he's like, he's like, because your heart's not into her or whatever. It's like, it's essentially like, oh yeah, they're not in agreement on what to do, so Omnimon can't function.
Oh, you meant movie 1 is a try movie 1. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant, like, Diaboromon.
That'd be a complete, well, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it's established that it's like, oh yeah, we're working on Steven Universe rules. You have to know what you're gonna do or the fusion don't work. And, like, Matt's, like, a second away from just swinging hands at Tai. It's like, oh, I guess Omnimon's just fine there. Huh, funny thing about that.
Also, Omnimon seems to be ignoring Tai.
Yeah.
Like, Tai is like, stop fighting, and Omnimon's like going ham.
Well, Omnimon kind of has to keep fighting because holy crap.
Yeah, Mekumon's, there's an entire war going on.
There's like 3 other, like, megas just out there duking it out in the sky, and Omnimon's like, yeah, sorry kids, I have to, like, keep going.
Yeah, so they're destroying the crap out of the ground, and then Tai falls to a pit.
And that leads to just...
the dumbest.
Just... what do I even...
So, Kari gets super depressed?
Yes?
Kari is like, oh, Tai's dead, and turns into like a zombie. And like, just kind of walks away, and then like purple code starts crawling up her body.
It's like the virus or something.
And then Yaramon digivolves to Ophanimon. And
she digivolves to Dark Ophanimon specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, if you actually, like, freeze the frame, she's got, like, like, demon shoulders and, like, bat wings and stuff.
Oh, I didn't actually realize that there was, like, a Dark Ophanimon. And then Dark Ophanimon fuses with Meikumon, and we get the horrible thing seen on screen right now.
We get the Evangelion monster.
Yeah.
I recently watched Evangelion, so I should know. That's an effing Evangelion.
Yeah, this thing's a monster. Like, even more so than like Digimon standards.
So
Also, it's freaking gigantic. I think.
yeah, like I like took this still specifically because I want people to see like what the weird bi look like and stuff. But like most of this thing are like most of this like Digimon is like the giant crazy wings.
Yeah.
So I will ask, like, do you remember like specifically in exact detail what like Dark Genai says when like Kari snaps?
No.
Alright, I was like wondering, cause like in the sub he's like, oh, the fragile ones always break easily or something.
Right. Right. Yeah, he says something like that.
Yeah, and someone in a Discord said like, oh yeah, in the dub he says something like she has a fragile heart or something.
He just says something like the innocent ones are always the easiest to break or something.
Yeah. And like so there's the part where it's like, it's gonna get a bit conspiratorial.
All right, go for it.
I I don't think the people who created these movies have too high of an opinion of women. Because I don't want to, draw connections that aren't there. But last movie, you remember they had that weird talk where it's like, oh, like, Mako's, like, not gonna be able to make it because she's just a normal girl,
Yeah, the female characters in this series of movies are really poorly written.
Yeah. Like, I should probably, like, rephrase it. Like, they don't, like, know how to write women well, basically.
Yeah, Himikawa is like a completely psychotically obsessed.
Yeah. You know what? I will expand that a little bit. They don't know how to write characters well, but they definitely don't know how to write female characters well.
Yeah, Himikawa is completely and psychotically obsessed with her Digimon because she couldn't take the loss of it very well. Kari, when in this scene where she just breaks down at the first sign, it's like, oh, like no confirmation that Ty's dead. She just like, oh, like, Ty's dead now. Sora is like, oh, I'm so sad, and like I gotta take care of everybody and whatever. Mako is like the whole, like I said, like the whole moe trope.
Yeah, Mako's not like Mako's crying because she's like, "Oh, some evil man told me I shouldn't exist. What if he's right and all that?" It's like, sure, like everyone on this show has their problems. The female characters got it rough though. Like they do not handle things well in this series at all for some reason.
Yeah, and the conflict between the male characters is Matt and Ty don't agree.
Yeah,
Joe,
which is I want out that's really stupid because like Matt's just constantly acting like a child. But yeah, at least it's something.
Matt is acting like he did pre-character development in Adventure 1.
Yes.
Constantly.
Even though I think he's meant to be in like high school or whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all high schoolers at this point.
Like, he has a band. Like, why are you not chill yet?
Izzy's problem is that, like, he's too focused on his work, and I don't know.
Izzy's whole thing is he stayed up, like, 48 hours straight, and he's, like, dying from exhaustion because he needs to save the world now, damn it.
Yeah, the male character's conflicts are
like Joe's Digimon leaves him and it's like a big emotional thing where they push like the emotions of the scene stupidly hard. And by the end you're like, you know what, Joe? Like you got yourself stranded up, you've earned that mega.
I'm afraid to watch Kizuna Last Evolution.
Is it like I don't know if it's made by the same people or not, but like it might be.
I don't know, but it seems like they don't know how to write the characters anymore.
Oh yeah, also we should probably, just for like, completion's sake, that like TK's arc was like, oh yeah, my Digimon might turn against me, and I have to come to terms with the idea of killing it, as said to me by my Digimon.
TK's arc is the best one.
Yeah, like, he acts
Like,
like an idiot, but like, he honestly has the most emotional weight to his story.
yeah, as a kid he lost his partner, so that really put a damper on his thoughts of losing him again. And so it's actually affected him. He has like nightmares about it.
Yeah.
And then and then it comes back as a real possibility that he himself, or like he's going to have to watch as his partner is killed by his own friends because he's infected. And it's like TK's got an entire arc, and it works.
And then you go Mimi, and it's like, oh yeah, like some girls at school don't want to wear my outfits, and they're mean to me.
Yeah. Ugh. Holy crap.
Like, I really don't want to make like allegations or like, oh yeah, they don't know like right female or whatever out of nowhere, but it's like, this ain't great, man.
Can
Like,
we have one? Can we have one competent female character in this cast?
oh my god. Like, and like Kari just breaks down, it's like, okay, like, Kari was always averse to violence, sure. I don't think I'd ever really say she was like, portrayed as like, oh yeah, she's so fragile and she can't handle it. Like,
Look, I want to point out that not even little 5-year-old TK broke down this hard.
yeah. And like, he saw Waymon die, like they both did. They saw so many friends eat it.
Yeah, TK. Wait, I guess Kari was the same. It doesn't matter. She didn't break down like this either.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure she was like more together when like Wizardmon died, and that was like her fault directly.
Yeah, holy crap. Mimi, who's older, freaked out more than Kari did.
Yeah, like, Vivi was always like, the like, more emotionally fragile one, because like, she wears her emotions on her sleeve,
Yeah. Oh, this isn't really related to anything we're talking about, but it's just something I wanted to mention that I kept forgetting to. Is that throughout parts of this movie, Jinai is just hanging out, and he's like, and when I say hanging out, I mean he's like hanging upside down from buildings and stuff like a freaking vampire.
Yeah, he's like hamming it up.
Also, his voice at one point is so weird that I didn't recognize it as him. I was like, wait, is that Dark what the heck is his voice doing?
Why is he even like doing this?
Also, when Kari's fighting with herself, Jinai is also like hanging upside down in her consciousness. Like, he's doing the vampire thing constantly, and I don't know why.
I think, like, the only justification I have is it's meant to be like, oh, he's inverted Jinai because he's evil, so he's literally upside down.
Wait, vampire? Oh, don't tell me Dark Jedi's possessed by Myota's mind.
Oh my god.
Could you imagine?
This one comes back from the dead again.
Screw it. Yeah, do it. Bring back Myota's again. I don't care at this point. At least it would give me some reason to care. It's like, oh, it's Myota's again. Good old Myota's.
Oh no. Like, he could be out there, Like, there are ultimates just around.
If Myota's legit shows up in, like, the next movie or the last one or whenever the last one is, I'm going to lose my mind.
Of course, we just never have our, like, encounter with, like, Puppetmon or Piedmon or whatever. Just screw it. These people don't care about Puppetmon. I just have to process that for a moment. If
What if he's acting like a vampire because Mayo is lying?
what if Tommy is a vampire?
Hmm.
Like that, but it has the evil. But isn't that what Paimon did to the thing? Didn't Paimon put an evil seed in him or something? Isn't that why he's bad?
I don't know. That
Yeah.
isn't he like bad because is Yggdrasil's fault? Now that I think about it,
I don't know. There's so many characters doing stuff right now, and I understand none of them.
yeah, there's too many factions. There's too many factions with too many different goals. It's confusing.
Yeah, like, would it really be that bad to, like, just rope homeostasis and Yggdrasil together and have, like, Alphamon be like, no, I want to protect these people's friendship or something? Like, just have him just come out and be like, these kids care about Meicoomon, I want to save them now. Like, at least I'd be like, okay, I understand, like, why everyone's fighting everyone else at the moment.
Yeah. And maybe there'd be some backlashes, like, why do you want, like, the most basic plot or whatever? It's because they went insane with this plot, and I'm tired of it.
Like, I never got that argument in general, because, people are like, oh, but I don't want stuff that's, like, got tropes or whatever. And it's like, well, stuff, like, has straightforward plots and, like, tropes, because sometimes that just works really well, and it, like, helps people understand what's happening way easier.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a simple plot. Like, we could have the kids, and they're trying to stop homeostasis, who wants Meicoomon dead. Done.
Yeah.
And then there's the B plot of Himikawa and her deal.
If this was just, like, the kids, trying to stop Meicoomon and, they're to, like, come to terms with, like, oh yeah, we have to kill this thing that's, like, our friend or whatever, that would be, like, basic enough. And I don't think it would be, like, so basic that people would be, like, like, turned off by it, right? Like, all this other stuff just, like, it doesn't need to really, like, be there, I guess I'd say.
Yeah.
Like, it complicates things so much, and it's, like, currently to the detriment of the series.
Yeah, just remove the one faction.
Yeah. Yeah, effing, like, Gamon turns into Darko-Paimon. That fuses with Meicoomon. It creates this friggin' whatever it is, and it's like, oh yeah, time to destroy the world and stuff.
Yeah, Kari specifically, like, do it. Just do it.
You're not even gonna try to dig through the rubble or, like, climb down there?
Nope, total mind break, do it.
Oh no, but Ty's dead forever. How will we ever solve this situation?
And then Matt takes the goggles, and now he's the leader.
You know what
Also,
this is?
he's very mean to Koromon.
Yeah.
How dare he?
You know what this is totally going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Next movie, everyone's going to be all depressed. They're like, oh no, but, like, we can't do anything without Ty. And everyone's going to be, screw, I guess this is predictions now. Everyone's going to be super depressed about time. They're all going to be like, super avid. They'll have to, like, get their heads together to, like, wake up as they, like, get exposition to about, like, why Genai's evil or whatever the crap. And, like, very final hour, they're going to, like, fighting this whatever the crap is. No one's going to be strong enough. Ty's going to show up out of literal nowhere. Like, he's just gonna drop in through a portal, and he's gonna be like, okay, let's make Omnimon, and Omnimon's just gonna finish the job. Like, that's what this is going to be, like, 100%. Everyone's going to wallow in depression for, like, half the movie at least. and they're
Yeah.
gonna try fighting the big bad, and Omnimon's gonna kill it in like one hit. I can guarantee you.
Is the next movie the last one?
Yes.
Thank God. Um. Okay, so yeah, everybody's gonna be all depressed, and it's like, but then somebody's gonna say something like, "But Ty would do this," and Matt's going to specifically say, "Well, Ty's not here now."
Yes. We
Mark
need
my
that. We
Mark
need
my words. Those exact words are gonna come out of his mouth.
the exact, like, cliche. It's like, oh, but, like, ex-leader is, like, isn't here anymore. Well, he's not here now, or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I, I just want to go back for a moment where Koromon is all sad that Tai is seemingly dead. And he's like really bummed out about it, and Matt yells at him. Screw Matt.
Like, I'm just trying to imagine, like, just for a moment, you know, remember the episode where it's like, oh yeah, Kari's like sick and like Digimon Adventure, and you know,
Yeah.
she's dying. Like,
Yeah.
I will like see the reality where it's like, oh yeah, like Kari dies from pneumonia or something, and Tai just mind breaks and it ends the world right there. Just
Black War Greymon is born and just goes mental.
yeah, just Black War Grodd happens, it just destroys the digital world. Like, wouldn't that be everyone's favorite episode? Wouldn't that be great, guys?
That'd be fun. I mean, they're gonna win. There's a movie after this.
Like, jeez, the crazy part is that situation's like way too far because like you don't even know Ty's dead. You just saw him fall down a pit. Like,
no, it means he's dead though.
Even if I had like no knowledge of anything else, even if like I was just like, okay, like they're willing to kill like someone who's like super recognizable, even if I'm just sitting here like, okay, like these people are crazy enough, they're 100% willing to kill the main character. Like, this is a series, it's like Attack on Titan, like, people are going to die all the time. Tai falls down that cliff, like, that could be the end of everything. I still don't believe he's dead, because, like, falling down a cliff and not seeing the body is the biggest trope ever.
Yeah, not to mention he fell down with another person.
Like, even if I put that on the back burner, like, it's not that wide of a gap. He could slide down, for the love of God.
I do want to it's not really related to that, but I've seen the cover art from the last Evolution movie. And Mako's not on the box.
Oh boy, I wonder why.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think she's gonna die. I don't think but I think they're gonna be like, oh, she moved away.
You know what? Like, I'm gonna make that prediction, because screw it. Like, Mako is going to sacrifice herself, and she's gonna be like, oh yeah, I have to do this, because, like, I ruined everything. But she's gonna go off, like, into the white void, just like, like, thanks everyone, you meant a lot to me. And she's gonna just fade away, like the holier-than-thou, like, just Mary Sue angel she's been. Everyone's gonna be all sad that Mako's gone, but there's like, no, we have to keep moving. It's what Mako would have wanted.
She's gonna jump in between one of whatever this thing's attacks. What do we call this thing? What is this awful thing?
I have no idea. Like,
well, Mako's gonna jump in front of its attack to block it from hurting somebody else, and then it's gonna destabilize the fusion.
I will point out it kind of looks like the effing like what's her face, the like the crazy like tentacle haired like like female member of the God Hand from Berserk, right? It kind of
Oh,
looks like her, except like there's no tits, so it's okay for Digimon.
uh,
That's
okay.
exactly what this is right now.
Yeah. There is something we kind of glazed over, and maybe that's because there's not really a whole lot to talk about. But the Dark Ocean,
Yeah.
I'm, I, my screen is kind of dark, but were those figures Divermon?
So like, yeah, and actually screen cap this, so I'm like just bring this up in like a second. Okay, there you go.
Okay, they don't look like Divermon, but then again, they switched whenever they like turned into like shapeless figures. I think this is kind of what they looked like.
Yeah, that's totally what this is.
Oh my god, they're bringing back the Dark Ocean. Wait,
Yes.
what if that's where the 02 kids are trapped?
Like, if we never like get anything on the 02 kids again, I'm just going to assume they're dead.
Oh yeah. If they never show back up, they're totally dead.
But yeah, like Huikawa just randomly appears in the Dark Ocean. She's like, I'm going to find Tapermon. And it's like, did he just run off here? Excuse me?
I would assume so. I think Tapermon is creeped out by Himikawa as he should be, and he's running.
It's screwed. Dark Ocean's weird. Fine, whatever. She just shows up in the Dark Ocean with these weird the crap they are. I don't think they're Divermon, but there's something that like has data that resembles Divermon, I guess.
Well, no, they don't look like Divermon. I just couldn't see the screen very well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, yeah, the reason I say that's because, like, in Digimon 2, you saw the creepy Divermon, and, like, you remove the dark rings, and they turned into these things, because this is the true form.
Yeah.
So it's like, something, I don't know, it's something to do with that, I guess. I don't know, there's some similarity there, I guess. It's super weird done quite, whatever. Dark Ocean's weird.
Yeah, Himikawa gets pulled into the ocean.
Yeah, like she's just trudging through it, and these things start approaching, so she pulls out an effing gun.
Yeah, she's like, I will kill all of you.
It just sort of drops it and just falls into the ocean or something, and it's like, okay, well, I guess she's going to be evil now or something. Maybe she'll show up for the final movie and give exposition.
Yeah, she's gonna show up as the antagonist later. I have little doubt.
What if, like, Huikawa's the one who is the heroic sacrifice, because what's gonna happen. Like, she's gonna sacrifice herself to take out Dark Genai or something. Like, I can feel it.
Oh, boy. I'm glad that the next movie is the last one.
Remember
the last of this series.
Remember in 02 where like characters actually acted like actual people with like motives and reasons for doing things? And we just took it for granted because everything else was bad. Remember when that was the case?
Yeah.
I would be like surprised if Digimon hits a low point like this again in like any of the R series.
Can we have Oikawa back? I'll take Oikawa's plotline over this.
Oikawa's motivations were dumb, and he was really weird and creepy, and he just wanted to make kids really smart and good at sports. But at least I could have fun with the character. At least his, like, plans kind of made sense, because he was being puppeted along by, like, another person.
Yeah. Oikawa and Himika... Wow, their names are really similar too. Oikawa and Himikawa are basically the same character. Except Himikawa is not like possessed by something. Not yet.
Himikawa is somehow worse. Because, like, at least Omikawa was like, oh yeah, I want to go in the digital world, and he gets to, like, Biosmon's effed up, screwed up, weirdo trash world, and he's like, oh, this isn't right, because it's not. He was tricked. Himikawa gets exactly what she wants, and she's like, oh, but I didn't wish for this. Why doesn't Tapermon recognize me after like all these years I've spent studying this reboot plan in extensive detail?
Yeah.
And I might just like watch the next movie just like, tonight just to get it over with, cause like, oh my god.
Yeah, same.
So like, any last thoughts, I guess?
No.
Nah.
I'm tired.
Yeah. Just, I will say something. I'm planning on, like, I'm thinking over it. It's like, I'm playing, like, if the copyright doesn't kill anything, I'm like, you know what, we're talking about, like, scene for scene and stuff. Like, if we had to Tamers, like, if it don't get flagged stupidly hard, screw it, I'll take the demonetization. I might as well just download the episodes and just shove the clips into the podcast. Cause you know what? That'd make a more entertaining video.
Well, at that point, we might as well do the thing where we just watch it and talk about it.
Yeah, like I guess that's true.
Like I screen share it.
Like, yeah, that's true, but it's like, Anna. Like, I'll have to think over a bit. We might just do that.
Okay.
Because, then I could just, like, play the episodes, like, as they happen, and you could just, Or Anna, I'll think over, because, like, it might flow better as, like, a thing if I, like, take clips and just come up and just throw them wherever, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we take, like, a bit long to talk about, like, specific scenes because there's a lot to go on there, and the actual scene just lasts, like, 20 seconds or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but there might be a lot to unpack.
Yeah, like, I think I'll just, like, manually edit, because, like, there is a lot to unpack in that show, I'm sure. And, then I could just throw in, like, whatever random gags or whatever if we need to. So, yeah, that'd be fun. So, yeah, I guess that'll be it. I guess I'll see you around later.
Yep, later.
Later.